Whoever thought the greatest rapper would be from coincidence? Man, I wanna be her. She listening to Drake, and all I can say, these niggas that much better than me. Welcome to my diary.
So with all the new Kendrick Lamar fans that have come since the whole Drake beef and since GNX, I thought it would be good to do this Kendrick Lamar documentary for posterity. I'm doing this mainly for the people who recently have gotten into Kendrick Lamar's music. Maybe you heard of him before, but you got more interested after you started looking how deep and layered he was during the beef with Drake. You know, as someone who's been listening to Kendrick Lamar since 2009, I've noticed that a lot of people have not tapped into his early work. So part of the reason I'm doing this documentary is to shine light on that early work and also shine light on some of Kendrick's more overlooked and underappreciated music. I also have this song breakdown series that I do where I break down different songs, and Kendrick Lamar is an artist whose songs I break down often, so be sure to subscribe. So yeah, I'm doing this for the people who recently got into Kendrick so they can have a more informed perspective as Kendrick Lamar continues on his career and continues to drop music. So yeah, this is really for the newer Kendrick Lamar fans, but if you're an older Kendrick Lamar fan like me, we get to relive some great moments from his career, and maybe you'll learn something new throughout this. So yeah, this is part one. So we would be remiss to talk about Kendrick Lamar and not mention the early days. Hey y'all, I am a one-man show. I record, edit the video myself, create the thumbnail, everything. So hitting like and subscribe does help a bunch. Thanks so much. Back to the video. Not talking about 2009 era. I was speaking more so when Kendrick Lamar was known as K-Dot. So for those who don't know, Kendrick Lamar underwent a name change. He changed his alias, his rap alias, from K-Dot to Kendrick Lamar. But I cannot speak about Kendrick Lamar's early days without mentioning the K-Dot era. I mean, for the newer Kendrick Lamar fans, you're probably wondering today, like, why do some people call him K-Dot or Dot?
Who is K-Dot?
His name is Kendrick. Like, where does that come from? It comes from Kendrick Lamar's earlier days as a rapper. He released 4 mixtapes under the name K-Dot. One is called YNIC, Youngest Nigga in Charge. YNIC was released in 2003. Which makes Kendrick Lamar around like 15, 16, maybe 17 years old around this time. Extremely young, but it just shows you how long he was polishing his craft for before he became popular. Another mixtape was called Training Day, which came out in 2005. One was called No Sleep Till New York City, which was Kendrick and J-Rock. So for those who don't know, J-Rock was the initial popular artist on TDE. Even me myself, I go way back with Kendrick, but I heard of J-Rock way before I heard of Kendrick Lamar. And another mixtape was called C4, which came out in 2009. Now, Kendrick Lamar changed his name. We'll get back to that name change in a second, but I know you guys are probably thinking, oh, should I go listen to the YNIC or the Training Day mixtapes? I would say no. Like, none of these Kendrick songs are required listening. Like, none of his best songs are on these projects. If you do want to go back and listen, I guess these mixtapes could serve a purpose to see where Kendrick came from and where he ended up and just to see the progression of everything. But it's not like any of Kendrick's best songs are on these early projects. Actually, there are some pretty horrible songs on these projects.
Bitch, I'm in the club with the homies. Tell me what's good.
I mean, which is expected when you have an artist they're as young as 15, 16 years old, as Kendrick was on that YNIC mixtape. They're finding themselves as an artist. They're trying to find their voice. So yes, actually some of Kendrick's worst songs are on these mixtapes.
Trying to get these hoes single, and this is my singer.
But I just can't do this documentary without mentioning these mixtapes. These are the foundational stages of Kendrick Lamar as a rapper. So before Kendrick Lamar was known as this vicious MC who will take on anybody, take down a goat, strangle a goat, as he says, he was simply known as J-Rock's hype man. He was hyping up J-Rock, as I mentioned before. J-Rock was the initial popular artist on TDE. He was the first one to really take off, and Kendrick Lamar was his hype man. If you see earlier interviews of J-Rock, a lot of times you will see Kendrick, or some of the earliest footage of Kendrick on the internet is him with J-Rock.
When Kendrick was touring.
Yes.
So he was the hype man for J-Rock, right?
Yes, he was.
There's this sort of almost irony how Kendrick started as J-Rock's hype man to then going on to help J-Rock write some of his lyrics. Go watch my video on Redemption album, which I think Kendrick had a huge hand in writing for. But that is just awesome, right? And really it's an ode to TDE, to Top Dog Entertainment, to show like how they have produced so many great artists. The guy who was the hype man for the top guy in the label ends up becoming the biggest hip hop artist perhaps of all time. One of the earliest flashes that we've seen of Kendrick Lamar that he was going to be great is actually still on the internet. There's this freestyle that Charles Hamilton is hosting. It looks like at a show, some type of venue. And Charles Hamilton was actually a really popular rapper. He's from New York City. Very popular during the blog era. He's kind of freestyling, and then he allows some people from the audience to come on and start freestyling and start rapping. You know, not expecting them to be too great. And one of those people in the audience is Kendrick Lamar with J-Rock by his side. So Charles Hamilton isn't expecting this guy to just, just come out and just be an amateur rapper. He's not a fan. He's going to come out, spit some mediocre freestyle, and we'll give him 5 seconds, then we'll move along. But Kendrick grabs the mic and completely rips it.
Backpack rap with gas in it. Don't get your cat killed by the black menace. K-Dot devil bread. Move like a militant soldier. On point like a pyramid.
Kendrick rips that freestyle so hard. Charles Hamilton is mid-conversation. After the first couple bars, Charles Hamilton is like, whose man's is this? Outshining me at my own show. And Kendrick just keeps rapping. It comes to a point where Charles Hamilton is like, I gotta get control back over this situation. Give me the mic, young brother. Okay, you're done. You're not gonna outshine me at my own show. It's great that that footage still exists, and I love that I can put it in this documentary because it really was the first sign that you saw of Kendrick where you're like, this guy is special. It also is a testament to Kendrick Lamar's earlier work, like those mixtapes that I said were not really required listening. The way Kendrick is flowing in that freestyle with Charles Hamilton, he still has that same flow today. Obviously, he's expanded, but Kendrick Lamar will still bust out that flow here and there. And it just goes to show how polished Kendrick already was. This is probably not even in the 2010s, this freestyle. It's for sure not, because this is before I even heard of Kendrick. This might have been 2008, 2009, and he's already sounding as polished as he does today. That just goes to testament, those 4 mixtapes I mentioned, how he polished himself on each one. And that's why he can sound so polished. During this freestyle with Charles Hamilton, he sounds like someone who's already in the rap game. So back to the name change. Kendrick Lamar does something 6 years into his career that, and for some artists, can be a death sentence. He changes his alias. He changes his name. And that can be a very dangerous thing for not only a rapper, but just any artist to do, just change your name, especially as your career has already started moving. Because people know you as one thing, your SEO, your search results come up as one thing. So to completely change that, like, people may not know who you are. People who are fans of yours may not cross over because they didn't get the message. He changes his name from K-Dot to Kendrick Lamar. And the reason he does this is because he wants to remain 100% honest with his audience.
And when people heard K-Dot, they was like, yo, the kid is dope. He can rap, but who is he? You know what I mean? That went on for years. He's just another cat in the streets that can rap good, right? So I was like, you know what? I want people to know who I am as a person and what I represent. So I woke up one morning, I said, the best way to start it off is giving me my name change, my real name. Something my mother been calling me for years.
It's like a reminder to himself, like, I'm not K-Dot. My name is Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, and that's who I'm going to be when I rap. And I think when you listen to those older Kendrick Lamar mixtapes, you kind of get the gist that he kind of just following the industry trends. He's not the vulnerable, honest, authentic Kendrick Lamar we hear on records today. He's kind of more trying to catch fire with the current trend. And it kind of reminds me of something Currency did in his career. He didn't change his name, but Currency was once on Young Money, and he left that label right as they were taking off. Like, right as they got Drake, right as they got Nicki, right as pretty much everyone on that label started going red hot, Currency left and said, you know what? I can't continue to rap about guns and like killing people. That's not what I do.
That ain't what I wanted to do. I could do it and earn me do it, but it's
now,
like, yeah, guess what? Like, that's not what I'm doing. I don't feel like spending. I don't want to do it. I just want to get high.
He said,
I just
bro,
want to build low riders. To fit, if I really want to make the song, then I'll rap about smoking to everybody, for sure. So I make the song, I get some publishing, I get a check, for sure. But that ain't what I want to talk about. So I'd rather just dip instead of making waves here. Let me just go so I can do what I want to do, and I'm going to get there when I get there. So.
And he left the label, and he left one of the biggest labels at probably their peak, went and took an independent route and took that major risk. Kendrick kind of takes it a step further. He changes completely his musical content and his name. And the official name change pretty much happened in December 2009 with the Kendrick Lamar EP. Kendrick Lamar EP was pretty much the official staking the flag down, like, I am now Kendrick Lamar, R.I.P. K. Dot. I am Kendrick. And it's with this EP that we see the signs of the Kendrick we have today.
Open my Bible and search to be a better Christian. And this from a person that never believed in religion.
The authenticity, the vulnerability, the rap skill.
Don't be a typical artist, be more like Jay, Russell, Berry, Gordy, Quincy, Jones.
When you listen to Kendrick Lamar EP again, it's like the Charles Hamilton freestyle. He already sounds really, really polished. You can listen to this EP today, and it hasn't aged that badly.
Me, I'm just a good kid, trying to keep it neutral, but I'm well aware that a square can get shot too.
Because so much of what Kendrick is rapping about is still relevant today. Songs like Vanity Slaves.
To trap the minds in the cage, our freedom was so vague, couldn't see it with the eyes of Tracy Ross.
Songs like Wanna Be Heard.
I'm working on my hooks, I ain't trying to battle you, but even if I did, I guarantee I overshadow you.
Like, there's a deep hunger that you can hear in Kendrick's voice. And this is really the first time in Kendrick's career, music career, where he's like, yo, I'm going to be completely me. And if being me isn't enough to succeed in the rap game, then it is what it is. But I'm just going to be authentic with myself and with my audience. And that happens with the Kendrick Lamar EP. And this is pretty much the start of Kendrick Lamar as we know it today. Great EP. Kendrick Lamar drops the Kendrick Lamar EP, and it makes noise. He's not like a popular rapper at this point, but it makes noise. And by the way, the first time Kendrick Lamar ever mentions Drake is on the Kendrick Lamar EP. He flips a Kanye West bar.
Dog, I was having nervous breakdowns, like, man, these that much better than me. She listening to Drake, and all I can say, damn, these niggas that much better than me.
He puts Drake's name in it. And this is like the first seeds that we get. Kendrick Lamar is really not fond of Drake, and this is very early again. Pretty much no one knew who Kendrick Lamar was in 2009 at this point. Drake was already a rap star by 2009. Like, he had already released So Far Going. It was already going crazy. It's like the seeds of that beef. This is the first time either of them ever mentioned each other. Kendrick Lamar mentions Drake. The Kendrick Lamar EP is a success. It drops on the blogs, and this is where I first heard about Kendrick Lamar and became a supporter. You'll find a lot of people figured out and found Kendrick Lamar at the EP because of the blog era. Blogs would post this mixtape, and people would listen. It was just a different time in music. It was a time where the listener, the audience, we were hungry for new music. And if your music was posted on a blog that we frequented, that we trusted, we would more than likely listen to your whole project. At the very least, give it a shot. We would skim it. We were hungry for music. So a lot of people actually found out about Kendrick Lamar this way. And then in 2010, Kendrick Lamar gets his first viral moment. This is his first viral verse. And this is kind of the seed of what I call Kendrick Lamar's call out verses, where he has these just huge moments where he's kind of calling rappers' names, and it just becomes this huge moment in rap. It happens on the Monster Freestyle, which is a freestyle over Kanye West's song, Monster.
Gossip, just stop it. Everybody know I'm a motherfucking monster.
Compton, nigga, I'm Compton, big ass Compton.
And like I said, this is the seed of these call-out verses. There's a couple of them. There's this Monster verse where Kendrick Lamar just basically calls out a bunch of rappers. Lupe, Mos Def.
I'm the best rapper alive. Check him that shit on your top. I'm going after Kanye. Lupe Fiasco and us.
Y'all, I'm not dissing y'all, but I want y'all to know I'm thinking I'm already on y'all level. It happens again on Control.
Benjamin Cole, Big Crit Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mills, ASAP Rocky, Drake.
It happens again on Like That.
rap this Melly Mel if I had to. Got 2 T's with me. I'm snatching chains and burning tattoos.
Like Kendrick Lamar has these moments. And this is really his first viral moment. I remember this was posted to World Star Hip Hop.
Back then we was wearing LA gears with the rhinestones. Nowadays I'm coming head first like a rhino.
Which was huge at the time. If you're on World Star Hip Hop, your video's getting millions of views off the bat. And this is really Kendrick Lamar's first viral moment. I remember putting on so many people to Kendrick Lamar off of this song because it just felt like something more relatable, especially if your friends aren't really into rap like that. Songs on Kendrick Lamar EP were really deep, like maybe not for the casual listener. But the Monster freestyle, okay, people already heard Kanye rap on it, Nicki, Jay-Z, Rick Ross. Hear Kendrick tear this up on time. So that was like Kendrick's first viral moment. And so this is like the transition from the Kendrick Lamar EP into the mixtape called Overly Dedicated. This Monster freestyle comes out maybe a week or 2 before Overly Dedicated drops, which is perfect timing because Kendrick has this virality that he can kind of feed into his album release, which is probably the plan. It worked. And then Kendrick drops what I think is one of his best projects. It's called Overly Dedicated, OD abbreviated.
OD, because of you, we are overly dedicated. OD.
And I think this is one of Kendrick's most overlooked projects, period.
But I ain't perfect. I ain't seen too many churches or know them Testament verses.
I would put this like in my top 3 or 4 Kendrick projects. It's really hard to rank Kendrick's work because it's all so good. But Overly Dedicated is extremely good. Like Overly Dedicated has some of Kendrick's best songs. I would say like at least 4 or 5 of Kendrick's best songs are on Overly Dedicated. And it's really a shame that people have not heard that album in totality. You really need to go listen to it.
Your mind on TBS, it was TDS for us to eat TV dinners every time we was famished.
Again, some of Kendrick's best songs. Ignorance is Bliss.
Long way stand over him, shake his hand, then jump back in that minivan, double back to his black and bland.
PMP 1.5.
Pain since my grandma's death. Uncle killed at Louis Burgers. Hold my tears, I try my best.
The Heart Part 2.
Fuck a funeral, just make sure you pay my music respect, nigga.
Opposites Attract.
Why you treat me like I'm nothing? Why you always at a function? I be wanting to go out, but you'll never ask me.
Some of his best songs are on Overly Dedicated. And Overly Dedicated is the project where we see that Kendrick has the ability to create a concept. And he's really good at creating conceptual records. Now, Overly Dedicated, it's not like a full conceptual project like Good Kid, Mad City, like To Pimp a Butterfly, or the Damn album, but the seeds are there. I mean, songs like Opposites Attract, We Hurt People That Love Us, Love People That Hurt Us.
Why you always buy me something when you going shopping? Why you tell me that you love me? Why you always thinking of me?
Alien Girl, like there are some conceptual songs on here that really work. And again, I think it's one of Kendrick's best projects. If I had to rank Kendrick's projects, I don't know, it's so hard. I will put maybe Section 80 or Good Kid, Mad City, number 1 and 2. It just changes by day. But Overly Dedicated is for sure number 3. And it's after this project that Kendrick, he blows up in the underground after this project. After Overly Dedicated comes out, this is where the Dr. Dre cosigns start coming in. This is where Kendrick starts doing his own shows at smaller venues in Southern California, like the Glass House. Overly Dedicated is what took Kendrick Lamar from pretty much underground and unknown to known in hip-hop's underground. Again, after this, we get the Dr. Dre cosign. West Coast artists at the time, it was kind of like you needed Dr. Dre to get on. 2010, we had a lot of great artists coming out the West Coast, but none of them get the Dre cosign. Dime Kennedy didn't get it. Nipsey didn't get it. Like Pac Div didn't get it. So with Kendrick, we were like, is he going to get it? Is he going to get it? And then Kendrick Lamar drops this song called Look Out for Detox.
Water in the pot, flow crack rock like bam bam, nigga have 2 grams, nigga pay up, blam blam, nigga.
This comes out after Overly Dedicated. And for me, this is the first time I ever heard of Schoolboy Q.
Shout out to Schoolboy Q. He ugly than a motherfucker.
Fuck all that, Setbacks dropping December, bitch.
And it's just this song. Kendrick is going crazy and he drops a video to it. Iggy Azalea actually got in trouble for quoting the Slave Master bar.
Finish line with the tire marks when the relay starts, I'm a runaway slave.
Finish line with the fire marks when it really starts. I'm a runaway slave. Master.
The Runaway Slave Master bar on this song. But again, this is like another viral moment for Kendrick because this is where he kind of confirms like, yo, yeah, I'm working with Dr. Dre. look out for Detox. Detox, the album. It's kind of like Kendrick saying, like, me and Dre are working together. I'm working on Detox. Shout out to Dre. Look out for that Detox album when it comes out, which it never came out. Detox never came out. Yeah, it's at this point where Kendrick goes from relatively unknown to royalty in the hip hop underground. Not the mainstream yet, but royalty in the hip hop underground. So now Kendrick has all this momentum. Number one, he's extremely polished because of the work that he put in prior. He wrote the virality of the Monster freestyle, used that to drop Overly Dedicated, which is still to this day one of his best projects. A lot of great songs, conceptual songs, like just some of his best work is right there on OD. The success of OD leads to a Dr. Dre cosign. And now, like, Kendrick has all this momentum behind him, and he uses this to lead into his next project, which is titled Section 80. And just as Section 80 comes out, Kendrick Lamar, already this early in his career, is crowned King of the West Coast by a host of West Coast legends. A lot of y'all are younger, or you weren't into Kendrick at the time. So you're looking at it like, yo, 2010? Like, yes, 2010, 2011. Kendrick is already being crowned as the King of the West Coast. This is why I'm telling y'all, you need to go listen to Overly Dedicated if you haven't already. If you have heard it before, you need to go listen again. Off the strength of that, he gets the Dre cosign, he gets the underground rap heads, and he gets crowned King of the West Coast. But 1 month before he's crowned King of the West Coast, he drops my favorite project by him, Section 80.